How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. So, today I got to start out a little different. I, usually tell everyone, hope you're having a great day and all that, but after what's happened in the last 24 hours, there's, over 35, 36 people that aren't having a great day today and will never have a great day ever. And, man, it's rough. And I'm not going to start with that, but I just want to give acknowledgement. And as a person that believes in gun rights, I want to say we should be the people outraged the most, because this is going to give our community... Well, I'm not a gun owner. I've never been a gun owner. But as a person that makes knives, that's in basically an adjacent community and knows that the bad outlook these things get as weapons and stuff like that, I can relate, and it's going to trickle down. They're going to start coming out against guns, and then they're going to start coming out against knives. And I don't just believe in gun rights because I'm a knife maker. I believe it because I'm an American, and it's our Second Amendment. But I just wanted to kind of touch on that first because, I've got a whole different outlook than the guns. And I'll get into that later because I just want to touch on that because usually I start off with, hey, I hope everyone's having a great day, but I just can't start off that way knowing what's happened. So, hey, what's up, Rachel Co? I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're doing good too. Our country doesn't seem to be doing pretty good right now, but yeah. Whew. All right, let's kind of change the subject, and I'll get into something happier, and then we'll come back onto this because it's so ironic because I got out of politics. At the election, I got out of politics. I don't talk about politics. I don't follow politics. A lady came over that's very heavy left, and I kind of fall in the middle, and we had this big discussion about gun rights and all this and what I'm going to get into, and our focus all became about, fully automatic weapons, and I was like, well, you start taking those away, and it's just going to trickle and keep going, and, but that's a little off topic right now and insensitive to all the people that are injured and in the hospital and losing their lives. And, hey, what's up, Bootleg Blades? How's it going? Jacob Visser, how's it going? Whew. But, I just kind of wanted to start off that day because I didn't want to come off all cheery and happy and, neglect what just happened. So, anyway, let's kind of change the pace of this and get into something a little bit happier. And, if I do start getting into those rants and I start cussing, I apologize ahead of time. I try not to cuss on this channel, but when I get passionate about stuff, I tend to not think as I'm speaking. So, Anyway, my birthday was Thursday, and man, that was a bad transition. But I'm trying to uplift this and take my mind off it and think positive with such a tragedy and negative thing. But anyway. So Thursday was my birthday, and my friend that I'm always talking about, if you've watched this live stream enough, he's the guy that got me into knife making, and every time I'd make a blade, I would think I would do the best job I've ever done, and he would find every fault possible. Now, and I kept saying to him, stop doing this because I know it's my birthday, you don't have to give me the, but here, look at this. He'd pick up this knife, and he's like, man, there's bevels. He's like, that bevel line is nice and crisp, and he just couldn't. This knife in general, which is like the knife I've paid the least attention to, no hormones, no Damascus or anything, and he just couldn't put it down. He's like, man, those lines are so crisp, and he's just like, man, your handlework is getting better, man. And I was like, come on, man, I know it's my birthday, but you just coming over and working on knives with me is a present enough, and he just kept on picking up. And he picked up this knife, and he's like, man, that Tanto. He's like, I just can't get over it. And he's even looking at, these aren't sharpened knives. So he's like, man, because usually I used to leave my edges thick because I didn't want to ruin, you know, I'd get it to her one and I wouldn't make them thinner and thinner. And he's like, man, even your edges are looking thin and perfect. And I'm like, you know, and he's just like in awe over my knife making. And I'm just like flabbergasted because I don't know what to say. I'm starting to look for flaws in it. In fact, I found one that I didn't see before in this knife. You know, he's looking at it and I'm like, oh, wait, there's a bump right there I didn't hit. See, you missed it. You're slipping. You know, so he's all, man, and it was like, he couldn't find a bad thing about my knives. And I was just like, man, you know, it's just bouncing off the walls. And then it came to my finished blades. Because as some of you know out there, sharpening is my Achilles heel. You know, I sharpen the best, but, you know, and my knives will be razor sharp. They'll cut hair and everything. But if you look at them, there'll be like facets in the sharpening, like fine facets, which most people won't notice. But since I'm the maker, I notice. Hey, what's up, Guinevere? You made it. Or Gravender. I'm horrible with names, you know that, so I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong. Billy Martin, Mountain Forge. Oh, his birthday was yesterday. Right on. Happy birthday right back at you. Hope you're having a good one, or had a good one. Oh, man. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. Man, Rich, I think that's man, if that's a German name, the Rich Osko, I can't pronounce anything. The IE in it makes me think it's a German name, which I tried to learn German for like 4 years. Teach myself after I was like 45, but I can't learn German. So if that's a German name, right on. Whew. Oh, Bootleg's Blades birthday's on Friday. Yeah, I know a lot of people that, you know, it must have been, oh, how inappropriate. It must have been that winter thing with our parents, right? What else are you going to do on cold winter nights? Oh, man. Oh, man. So, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I did the pattern. Let's see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to shine, but man, this pattern came out nice. I got some carbon fiber working on it. Now, it's probably too dark to see. Yeah. But, yeah, go check out my Instagram. You can see the difference. See, Loz, I always call them Lowe's, but it's Loz, L-O-Z. Asked me, do I want Samurai or do I want Damascus? And I'm always talking about, man, how I love Samurai so much. But I was like, you know, send me some Damascus because I don't really know. You know, Damascus would probably be easier for me to work with or whatever. And so he just messed with me and sent me both, man. It's got that nice 1095 core and all that stuff. So, whew, man, it's beautiful. Yeah, man. But yeah, if you want to see what it looks like, I finally got it to pop on camera on my Instagram. So don't go now. Wait till after the live stream and go. So, oh man, but yeah, so I still need to work on sharpening knives. It seems like even the handles, I couldn't believe he couldn't find, you know, I had to find the problem with the handles. And yeah, he was just super impressed with the crispiness of, you know, the transitions, you know, from the bevel to the plunge line and stuff. And yeah, it blew my mind, you know. Of course it had to be on my birthday, so I kept being like, come on, man, you don't have to give me this as a gift. Find something wrong with my knives. And of course, once I pulled out the sharpened ones, he did. So, oh man, whew. Oh man, so getting on the topic of Instagram, I talked about last week how they're banning hashtags like knife community and knife sales. I do understand you're not allowed to sell knives on Instagram. But I'll tell you what really irked me is I saw ads for Jack Daniels. Now, okay, Jack Daniels is alcohol, and you know, the thing about alcohol is if it was to be made legal today, or if it was if it was a new drug, it would definitely be illegal. Now, my stance on drugs and alcohol is alcohol kills more people, than most other drugs, and I won't get into that. But if you're going to have one drug that's legal, they all have to be legal. And that's just how it should be. They either have to all be illegal or all be legal. Just because some more people push and people like to drink and whatever, it's not an excuse to have one legal and the other's not legal. And that's just the way I look at it. But when you're saying you can't have hashtag knife community on your site, but you're pushing out, Jack Daniels and other bourbons and other alcohol, that kids, that's the thing. Okay, you can make whatever argument about drinking responsible you want, but Instagram has a lot of kids on it. Kids are going to see those ads. That's why years ago they took smoking ads off of TV, so it wouldn't, be centered on kids. So I think it's, and it goes, like I just said about the drugs, one way or the other. If you're going to have alcohol and stuff on there that can damage people's lives, then knives, guns, stuff that can be handled responsibly too should be allowed. Now, you could disagree, and bootleg, I do have a wicked edge, but I don't know. The wicked edge I found was more time consuming and just didn't do the way I now. I will tell you, it gives you a nice clean edge, nice perfect edge, but it's very time consuming, and the stones are small, and the thing is, I just didn't. I don't know. It made me realize I got to stop looking for shortcuts. Is what it made me do. I mean, it does put a nice edge on it, and the thing with the wicked edge, when you run out of stones, you got to pay $100 to get a new stone, not a new set of stones, a new stone. Like I bought just the strop stone, it was like $80 just for a strop, just for a little piece of leather that big. So, Jason, ever used a work sharpener? No. But that's why I rigged my, like Chip said, that's why I rigged my belt grinder. I think I'm going to get some more belts that go up to just regular aluminum oxide belts that go up to 1,000, and try to do it all on my grinder, and then maybe just strop it. I saw an old Ecom Knives video where he bought a leather belt strap and cut it in half. So I might do something like that. See, the knives my friend was looking at were all knives that I did before I welded that little piece on top. So that might help improve. I'm going to have to go get those knives and fix them up. Bootleg Blades has an Edge Pro that lays down perfect secondary bevels, but it does take a lot of time. I'd like to get a wicked edge. Bootleg Blades, they're all the same. It's not going to be any faster. And that's what I used to think. Like I had the Lansky sharpener. Now the problem with the Lansky sharpener is it's set angles. You only get like 15, 20, 25, and 30. So stepping from something like the Wicked Edge or the Pro Edge or all that stuff, where you can actually set in whatever angle you want, is different from the Lansky. But when it comes to all those sharpening jigs, if you can set the angle and the stones are all the same size, it's all the same thing. You're going to spend $400, and luckily I traded Martin MS Blades. He needed to build his grinder, and I had a whole bunch of extra parts. I sent him, and he sent me this one because he had an extra wicked edge. So, if you ask me, would I spend the money on one? No, I wouldn't. But that's me. Now, you got to remember, with all this, anything I talk about with preference or tools or stuff, it works for a lot of people. I just didn't think it was proficient enough to, but see, I have that same thing about jigs. jigs speed up workflow, but do they speed them up enough for me to make it something I would use on every knife? If that makes sense. You know, jigs are awesome. You know, if I had 10 knives to do, I would bust out the jig and then I would bust out my wicked edge. You know, they're production things. You know, I've talked about that before. These things are once you get, but if you're making 1 or 2 blades at a time, they really aren't, they aren't beneficial. In fact, they almost cripple you because you're relying on these other things instead of learning how to do it right. Then you got Chip. Yeah, Chip loves sharpening. He even told me, don't get offended because I'm resharpening your blades. I do that to all my knives. So, you know, that's the thing. I'm just going to make blades and send them all to Chip to sharpen for me. That'll solve the problem. Jacob Visser says he used stones in a strop. Yeah, that's what I like doing too. I'm not good at the stones in a strop, but that just means I need to do it more. Now, I see a few people comment like on Outdoor 55. I don't know if the guy was joking, but Outdoor 55's last video, he took a $1 kitchen knife and made it into what he called a $300 knife. And someone comment, here you are making this knife, and he said, I dull my knives on a strop. And I said, well, then you're not stropping. You're trying to sharpen your blade with a strop, which, you know, you don't put pressure on your strop. All a strop is, you know, whatever grit you go up to, 1,000, 800, whatever, that's your edge. The only thing a strop is used for is to, you know, refine that edge and take off the burr. You're not supposed to lay into a strop. You just lightly whisk it, you know, refine that edge. And so, yeah, and that's a big misconception. In fact, I did it. When I first started making knives, you know, I'd get up to like a 6,000 whetstone. And then I'd pull out my strop and I would do the same thing, you know, putting pressure on it. Oh, come on, let's get this edge. And you're actually making it worse because you're trying to sharpen on your strop. And my friend's like, no, you don't do that with a strop. In fact, you barely touch it on the strop. You just lightly hit it. You know, strop is just to take off that burr and refine that edge. Blade Junkie, he used the slack belt convex edges. Yeah, see, I don't like slack belts for a lot of it because it's just that, you know, the more you push down, the more it gives. So you never really can get, well, I can never really, I gotta say, stop saying you. I can really barely ever get a consistent edge. And that's why on a lot of my things, if you see me doing like a slack belt thing, you'll see me put the platen under, like on the top, when I built that top platen, I'll drop the top platen down just like a 1/4 inch or something, so it will slack a little bit, but then it'll have that you know, where the belt catches and it won't give any more. Because, you know, if your pressure is rocking or something, then that's not going to be a consistent edge. And that's why you see people cut and, you know, they'll start at the back where they strop the most or whatever, or they sharpen the most, and as they come through, the middle will catch up. And I have that problem a lot too. So, Stocky Move, hey, how's it going? Oh, Laws, you made it. Right on. Now, everyone, look in the comment. That's the guy that makes the Damascus. That's the guy you need to follow too. You know, definitely. He's the guy that made this Damascus you've been watching if you've been watching my videos. Yeah. Awesome, man. Nice guy. There aren't too many people that ask you, hey, you want to do something without wanting something in return. And I'll tell you what. I was like, well, let me pay for shipping if you're going to ship it to me. And he's like, it's already sent. Don't worry about it. So, man, you don't find people like that much. So, and I keep saying Lowe's, but it's Loz. L-O-Z, Loz. I'm just horrible with names. So, yeah, man. But, if you guys showed up late, but I started this live stream talking about, you know, the mass shootings that happened here yesterday. 2 of them. Ohio and El Paso. And I don't really want to talk about it, but I think I should, because I have a whole different outlook on gun rights. Well, not gun rights, but this whole should we have guns, should we take guns away? Because it's not the guns. And honestly, most likely, it's not the people that pulled the trigger either. A lot of these guys are young guys, and when you're young, you're very impressionable. Now, I guess I was always an oddball, and my parents always taught me, be yourself, stand for yourself. But I used to be infatuated with people like, Charles Manson and cults and stuff like that. And maybe that's what gave me the edge not to fall into these groups. Because I was like, man, why can people just take these other people and make them conform to what they want? And it blows my mind. But if you notice, most of the people that do these things are 21, 22, under 25, and they don't understand. They're looking for acceptance. They're looking for some place to fit in. They might not even agree with what these people are preaching to them and pulling them into. But if someone takes you in under your wing and makes you feel wanted, makes you feel accepted, you start dropping your guard and you stop thinking, oh, well, this isn't the way, this is a lot easier, or hey, the way they teach it to me, it sounds okay. It sounds all right. Yeah, I think I can get behind this now, because they're showing me not both sides. They're showing me the one side that I never understood before, but now I see it. Now I want to join this group. And so it's, when I was like 26, I lived in Virginia Beach, and down in like Richmond and stuff, there's a lot of Nazi skinheads. But there was also in Virginia Beach a group called SHARP, Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice. Now, I was associated with them because I believed in their cause. I believe every person has a right to be who they are. I'm against prejudice, and I'm against all that stuff, against racism, but I did not believe in what they stood for, because their thing was, okay, there's a Nazi rally in Richmond. We're going to go up and we're going to stand there, and you know what that's going to do? It's going to start a riot. Everyone's going to start fighting. I don't believe in that. So, excuse me, I'm getting a little upset. Let me take a breath. I don't believe in fighting to solve problems. It just causes more problems and no one wins. So I would go to their meetings and stuff, and I would give my feedback. But when they're like, oh, we're going to go stop this rally, I'm not joining your group. I don't have, it's funny because I'm a metalhead, but I kind of have that hippie mentality, if that makes sense. Now, I don't like hippies. Even though some of my best friends are hippies, I'm not into that whole hippie thing, but the philosophy I can get behind, let's say that. So, but yeah, I don't think violence solves anything. But when you get these young kids that have no direction in life, and they find somewhere that will accept them, and they find others that are just like them, that are, hey, well, I don't believe in violence, but I'm starting to understand the cause. And then they want something to fight for. And instead of fighting for a positive cause, they're like, well, if you go out and kill 20 of these people that we don't like, you're doing a positive thing. And they twist it like that. They make you believe, even though you're doing the worst, atrocious things in life, you're doing it for the right cause. And it doesn't matter if it's guns. It doesn't matter if it's knives. It doesn't matter if it's bombs. It doesn't matter if you get into a truck and fill it with explosive and blow up the FBI building. It doesn't matter how you kill people. And that was the discussion I had with this lady that came over, and we discussed, fully automatic weapons. Taking the fully automatic weapons is not going to solve the problem. In fact, that's why I started this thing and said people that are gun right activists should be outraged the most about this. Because people that are against guns are going to say, see, we told you this would happen. See, now we're going to put through more laws. Now we're going to take away your guns. Now we're going to take away your knives. Now we're going to take it away so you have no rights at all. And it's just going to cascade. I'm sorry I'm not reading this, but this is something I kind of have to get off my chest because these mass killings have to stop. And they're not going to stop taking away anything. They're going to stop by getting to the root, which is these groups that are feeding on young people and filling their mind with hate and saying, oh, hatred is the way to freedom. Hatred is the way to success. Man, you might go to jail or you might die, but you're going to die for the right cause, which is complete bullshit. And I'm sorry to cuss, but it's such bullshit. These people have lives ahead of them. Now they're dead. And the people they killed had lives ahead of them. And now, sorry, I got to calm down. But I hope you get what I'm talking about. The problem isn't the guns. The problem isn't knives. I think the problem is any group, and these anti-gun people are just as bad. Now they might not use guns because that would go against what they preach, but they go out with tear gas. They go out to look for riots. I think it was in Washington. I could be wrong. They have a whole system, and they just beat the shit out of people because they don't think like they think. And that's wrong. It doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter if you're left. It doesn't matter if you're right. It's still violence. It's still preaching hate. It's still pushing hate. Come join my group and I'll teach you the right way. No, you're teaching the fucking wrong. I'm sorry. You're teaching the wrong way. You're teaching the wrong way. I can't push that enough. Violence with violence is just more violence. You're filling these kids' heads with the wrong idea. All these lives gone for nothing. Nothing. This has accomplished nothing. And media is the worst part of this. Before Columbine, there weren't mass shootings. And if there were, we didn't hear about them. Now every kid looks and says, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to get on TV. I just go blow away 30 people and my name is everywhere. I'll be known across the world. Media is the problem. People pushing hate is the problem. Guns, knives are not the problem. Taking them away, it's just going to make it go illegal. People get heroin, people get drugs, people get all that. They're illegal. It just means you're going to get bigger and better things and give it to people that don't understand how to use it. More gun education, more classes. That's the only reason I don't own a gun. Is because I don't know how to shoot one. I don't know anything. I love the look of guns. I love the thought of guns. I've gone out and shot friends' guns. But I don't know how to shoot one. Before I even thought about owning a gun, I would take class after class until I knew that gun inside and out. And that's what we should be focusing on. Education for firearms. Making our community stronger. Knives. Excuse me. We got to stop. Oh, look at this tactical knife. Look how awesome it is. Look how many people it could kill. No, knives are not weapons. There's a small percentage that look awesome that could be used as weapons. And our heritages were used knives and swords as weapons because that's what they had to kill with. Not because they had a choice. But today we have a choice. They were fighting for land. They were fighting for their freedoms. It's a whole different ball game. Weapon, it's awesome to look at a knife that looks like a weapon. But to use it is a whole different story. Guns and all that are the same thing. You know, if you open a box, I guarantee you, you either use a razor or some form of knife to open that box. Every day, you use knives. Food, cooking, eating. Knives are not weapons. A little piece of them is, but yeah, I'm sorry to get so on this live stream. It's just, man, the way, and it's just giving fuel for the other side. Now they're saying, oh, look at this tragedy. Look at this. See, we knew this would happen. We let you have your knives. We let you have your guns. Now look what's happening to our society. And they get behind closed door and they're saying, yeah. Have any of you watched American X? That movie from the 90s with the skinheads? You know, and they're all like, at the very end, you know, Michael Rappaport goes out and shoots like 10, 15 people. And everyone's like, oh my God, they killed him. They killed him. You know, all the skinheads. And the one dude's just smiling like, yep, my plan is going through. And that's what it is. You know, why everyone else doesn't understand, the one guy that's, you know, running the whole thing is like, man, he might have died, but he died for our cause. You know, my plan has gone into work. And it's just another life that's wasted. Not to mention all the lives they take. You know, I know that's, you know, movies, but, you know, oh wait, it wasn't American History X is the one with Ed Norton. But it's the same theory. You know, he goes to prison, he's about to get killed, he gets saved by a black guy and changes his whole outlook on life. And, you know, these are stories. It's Higher Learning is the one I'm thinking of, not American History X. But they're the same concept. You know, guys controlling weaker minds and younger kids that are just looking for a purpose. And they fall into the wrong purpose. Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to get on this rant today, but, man, I just think people want to push their agenda. And that goes for the right and left. And I fall right in the middle because I believe in everyone has the right to be themselves and all that. But I also believe in guns and knives and weapons because they're not weapons. They're tools. They're tools to hunt with. Now everyone's like, well, you don't need an AK-47 to go hunting. No, but they are fun to shoot. And if you, instead of taking away, and this is what I was talking about to the lady, and she actually agreed with me. It's like, instead of taking away fully automatic weapons, because I'll tell you what, you buy a semi-automatic, you clip the pin. I don't know, for all you gun enthusiasts, I'm sorry, I don't know. But I've seen my friends talk about it, because I do have a friend that has a license for a fully automatic. He doesn't let anyone touch it. And my other friend's like, man, we can just file down this clip, and that semi-automatic becomes fully automatic. So making something, it's not going to stop. In fact, it's just going to make it worse. They took away our guns. Now we got to go stand up and fight the government. That's what it's going to cause. So, you know, education is the key. Instead of taking away fully automatic weapons, make someone, if you want a fully automatic weapon, you have to go through 4 years of school to get a license, and every year you have to renew that license. Something like that, you know. Something where they have to work for that license to own that automatic weapon, or have a reason to own that automatic weapon. You know, it might not solve it completely because people are going to bring them in on the black market and get them illegally. Or, like I said, they're going to take, you know, and what's the difference? Okay, so he goes in with an AR-15 or whatever and blows away 20 people, and no one, you know, I was surprised in Texas no one shot him because, you know, in Texas you're allowed to carry. And, you know, that's been one of my arguments. If more people carry guns and they see some nut walking around with an AR-15, they could pop them right in the head and save 20 lives. But you never know how you're going to react and stuff like that. And, you know, that's the whole different issue. But anyway, it's, you know, so taking away weapons, taking away I keep calling them weapons because that's what their label is, but taking away knives and guns are just going to hurt responsible people that could actually do something to stop something like this. But all right, Oh man, I'm sorry I haven't been. Hey, Green Beetle. Oh man. Wow. Green Beetle, the types of laws that would reduce gun violence significantly in the U.S. would require a huge reduction in numbers and types of guns owned. In other words, the removal of millions of guns from owners, right or wrong, will never happen. Man, Green Beetle, if you guys don't watch Green Beetle 2, he's the, like, man, all the hormone stuff is stuff, I don't want to say I copied his stuff, but man, I got a lot of inspiration from Green Beetle stuff. I remember one of the first videos I saw of yours was that he made a knife out of fishing hooks, and I was intrigued. So man, he does some awesome stuff. Man, that's awesome. Welcome to the live stream. Man, you picked a bad day to come. I don't usually rant like this. Usually it's good, happy stuff. But yeah, I'm just a little frustrated with politics and everyone's views on what we need to do instead of looking at the source. Oh man, oh man. So let's get on the actual topic, and I gotta give it to Laz. Oh man, Laz, because I asked him, since he made me the Damascus, I was gonna say something like no more garbage Damascus, but I didn't want people to think I was talking about his steel, because looking at his steel and his Damascus is beautiful. It is amazing. And but since I've been posting on Instagram and stuff more about Damascus, showing off his steel he sent me, it's our knife, I guess. It's our baby. People have been contacting me, and I've been getting contacted by these Damascus dealers, right? And people are like, well, how can you tell it's fake Damascus? It's like, well, they're selling a nice, huge Bowie knife for $80. That's how you can tell, and every knife looks the same. So this guy contacted me, and he's like, and I was like, and I just kept calling his Damascus and his knives garbage. I was like, whatever, man, that stuff's garbage. And he's like, okay, how about this? I'll challenge you then. You build a knife, and I'll build a knife, and we'll put them up, and we'll post them, and we'll see whose knife is garbage and all this stuff. And I wrote him back, and I was like, I don't care what knife you make, because your steel is garbage, and if the steel is garbage, the knife is garbage. How can a knife be good if the steel is garbage? And I said, go check out my channel, and I linked them to my channel and all that stuff. I was like, if you want to come back and challenge me, I have no problem at all. Let's bring it on. I haven't heard back from him since, though. Yeah, man. Oh. And see, the thing is, if someone is making a knife, I don't care where it's from, where you're making the knife, if you're taking the time to cut it out and make this knife and do everything it takes and putting your heart and soul into making a knife, I don't care how good or how bad it looks, you're making that knife. The thing I hate even more than they're trying to sell this crap Damascus is, I haven't been to a knife show in years since my mom had her stroke, but you would see these guys walking around with cameras, and they're taking pictures of people's knives. And then all of a sudden you see, oh, new knife released, and it's someone else's knife. Like if you look at a Custom Knife Factory, the Decepticon, or I think it's called the Decepticon. Now you can go on Amazon and buy an $800 knife for $100. All the top makers. You can buy Strider knives for $100. And that's what bugs me even more than the steel. Not that they're using this crap steel, which totally drives me crazy, especially now since Law's got me addicted to Damascus. Someone's like, oh man, you got the Damascus bug. Now you're going to be using nothing but Damascus. And I had to laugh, because I was like, you know what? I was just looking at some Damascus today. But I'll tell you what, I've always talked about how I really like saying my, and Law's messed with me, because he gave me Samurai and Damascus in one. So you did me in there. You know, I was afraid to use Samurai because Damascus seems a little easier to work with, and I didn't. But I don't know anything about either of them. But man, whew. Yeah, I can't wait to finish. Man, I'll tell you what, I haven't been working on music or anything. It's been wake up, edit, finish the knife, wake up, edit, finish the knife. It's like, man, I in fact, the next video I already had ready. I was going to put it out yesterday, but there was a bunch of glitches and stuff in it, so it'll be out tomorrow. And it's like, man, I almost had 3 videos up this week, and it's like, oh man, but yeah, so let me start reading these comments. I've been missing them up. Let's see. Lois Hopper says, kitchen knife the most dangerous in the UK. Well, that, yeah. From what I understand, you're only allowed to walk around with a 3-inch, you know, EDC knife or any, cause, you know, you UK guys, Dell, Weber Handmade, or Dirty Room Knives, Redpath, he's the one that my friend bought like a whole bunch of his knives, and I started watching Dirty Room Knives and was like, man, I think I can do this. And that gave me the knife making bug. And Jack Lore and rest in peace LB Customs, you know, all you guys, all you UK guys are like the knife makers I watched the most at the start. And then Ecom Knives came along, and then Green Beetle came along and stuff like that. So yeah, but man, UK laws are tough, and that's what I'm afraid of. That's going to happen here. You know, they start taking away guns. Then they're like, oh, well, you can't have a knife. You can't even have a folder in the UK. It has to be a friction folder under 3 inches. And same with Australia, you know, and it's a shame because, you know, and they take away guns, and now the knife crime is insane there. From what I understand, I don't live there, so, but from what I understand, knife crimes have gone through the roof. And that's back to my point. You take away things, people are going to find new ways to kill. Look in Paris, that guy drove a truck right through the crowd. Killed what, like 9 people. So people that want to kill and have, you know, like they, what was that in Batman? Some people just want to destroy the world or something like that. But it's true. York Knife UK, knife making, non-locking, sub 3 inches. Anything else is illegal. Right. Green Beetle says, hey Dave, with a big thumbs up. Jacob Visser, I have to rebuild my forge, so I have been going through some knife making withdrawals. Oh man, I bet. That's all right. You know what you can do? You can just work on your forge and make a whole bunch of knives to get ready for the forge. I've been there. My ovens, both my ovens I've had well, the small oven I built because the big oven was having problems. I haven't finished the small oven because I got the big oven working so good. It's like, well, oh man. But just keep grinding them out, man. Working on, you know, grind your preheat treat bevels. You know, work on technique. You don't want to lose that technique. You know, focus more on precision then. You know, get your bevels how you want them. Get your knives, you know, work on pre-forged stuff. Until and work on your forge in the meantime, you know, that way you don't lose it, man. You don't get Joneses for that knife making. Derek Blair 4. Some people just want to watch the world burn. That's what it is. That's the saying. Thank you. Oh, Heath, Shepherd's Forge, man. I've been ranting and raving. I didn't even see you were here. What's up, Heath? Cheap Damascus is junk Damascus. I bought expensive Damascus, and you know the difference when you see it and work with it. Right on. Yep, exactly. Well, this is my first piece of Damascus that Laws gracefully sent me, so, and I got the Damascus bug and the Samurai bug. I got to admit, man, I'm bitten. You started something. You definitely started something. Oh, man. Damascus is... It's expensive, but it's beautiful. Man, so nice to work with. Law says, Imagine if guns were legal. Yeah, imagine if guns were legal in the UK and stuff, and people were taught education and how to use them, and how to be. In fact, Alex Steele just did a collab with a guy that's all into guns and stuff. I'm sure some of you know it's something Poet Society or something Society. But I started watching. I subbed. I don't know about guns, but I want to learn. And he has the right. I watched one video where he brought an Australian anti-gun girl and had her shoot. He was holding the barrel so it wouldn't recoil and stuff. And she had a blast. And see, people are losing that. Guns can be fun. And they can be responsibly used, but they need education. And that's why I say at the beginning of this, gun right activists should be outraged the most about what happened in the last 2 days. Because this means your guns are going to be infringed on more. And as a knife community, we need to pull together and say, hey, look, we make knives. We don't make weapons. We make things that people use every day. And gun owners say, look, we hunt. We love to hunt. We keep the population of deer so they don't run out in front of your car and kill your family. There are uses for all these things. These things are tools if put in the right hands. And guns, knives, all of it. They're tools. Before they are weapons, they are tools. And guns, I'm kind of talking off the top of my head, and I have to say that up front because I don't know anything about guns. I'm not a gun enthusiast, but I can admire guns, and I have friends that are hardcore into guns. I've shot AR-15s, I've shot shotguns, I've shot all that stuff. And it's fun. And you have to be taught responsibly, hey, look, if you're joking around and you're shooting and you go to talk to your friend and accidentally pull the trigger, you're going to blow his head off. People don't know responsible, because, we were shooting all wow, I'm 48. This was when I was like 19. But we were shooting all these, double pump shotguns and AR-15s. And then my friend gave me a 22. And I'm like, pop, pop, pop. And I started laughing. And he's like, dude, that gun's going to kill just as quick as any other gun. And I realized, holy shit. I could have just blown my friend's head off because I'm joking and laughing about it. I mean, it wouldn't have blown his head off, but it could have killed him. A 22 can kill just as quick as anything else. And that's when I realized, hey, I need, because I was like, man, I'm going to go buy myself a shotgun, and man, I'm going to do this. And it's like, whoa. He made me realize I don't know anything about guns. So until I do, I'm not going to own one. And that's been my stance. But I support gun rights, and I have friends, and I'll tell you what, people that own guns responsibly usually are hardcore about their kids. Their kids know never to touch that gun. Their kids know, this gun doesn't come into my hands unless my father is standing there. And unless he tells me exactly every position I can point that gun, everything I can do. Gun owners, responsible gun owners, know their guns. They know every part of their gun. Their kids know every part of that gun and know not to touch it. It's people that just buy guns that have no education, that their kids, oh, look at this. It's a toy. Boom. And, so education, I can't preach that enough. And when it comes, as a knife community, this whole thing where, oh, knives are weapons. Oh, this, he's a knife maker, so he's a weapon maker. No, as a community, we need to pull together and show people knives aren't weapons. Knives are utilities that are used every day in so many ways. I'm ranting again. I'm not even... Oh, man, I'm sorry. Man, that incident last night, both incidents last night and the one in Washington, man, it's such a tragedy. It's uncalled for. It's unnecessary. I don't know the kid at all, but I can guarantee, however long ago, he wasn't thinking this. But whatever people he started getting in contact started filling his head with things. Or he saw the guy in Washington. Now that guy I think was older, was in his 30s. But who knows how long he's been into this anti-establishment thing or whatever. And see, now I'm kind of talking off, I'm not talking on facts. I'm just going by kind of what I see and read and stuff. But these kids, man, they get it in there, and it, you know, they're copycats. They see, you know, like I said, the media. Boom. This guy's on everywhere. Everywhere you look. Mass murder, mass murder. Someone else sees it, it's like, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to get a gun and I'm going to blow people away and I'll be famous. And I guess, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself now, but man, I just can't get it out of my head. You know, and it's not the gun laws, it's not knife laws, it's not any of that. It's the way people perceive fame these days. You know, everyone wants to be famous. Everyone wants to belong to something. And that's where it happens. You know, they fall into the wrong thing and they start thinking it's the right thing. Oh yeah, all these Mexicans are coming into our country ruining this and this and that and this, and we gotta take them out. You know, immigration is killing this country and blah 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 blah. You know, man, this country was formed on immigration. So I won't get into that topic though. That's a rabbit hole I don't feel like getting into. And like I say, I try to stay out of politics as much as possible, but man, these things, it's just such a tragedy to see. You know, 30 to 40 people aren't waking up today because of hatred. And that's all it is. It's not guns, it's not knives, it's not anything. It's hatred. Hatred is the only reason 40 people aren't waking up today. And it's a shame. It's an outrage. And gun right enthusiasts should be the ones outraged the most because it's going to affect you the most. It's not going to affect these anti-gun people. They're happy. Man, they got their way. They were right. Hey, we're right. Oh, man. Man, I've been ranting for 50 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. In fact, last weekend I took 2 days off, and I saw, Chip said glorifying the bad guy. I took 2 days off, and you know when I don't work, I start thinking. And one of my topics was no one likes a nice guy. People only see nice guys as a means to feed off of, take things from. Now, I'm a nice guy, but I'm also an egotistical bastard, so don't try to take off me. I'll give you all you want, but you try to take it, I won't give it to you. Oh, man. Let's end on a happy note. How about that? Oh, all right. Thanks for coming by. A lot of new people here. Man, whew, I appreciate it. I really do. I really appreciate this. So, you know, let's, you know, go tell your friends you love them. Go tell your family members you love them because, man, tomorrow isn't promised, as we just saw. Whew. All right. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I have to do the sales pitch because I got to teach myself sales. I don't know anything about sales. On my website, I got 4 knives. I got shirts. Oh, I'm wearing an AVE shirt. I forgot to change. I got so caught up in thinking about all this. I didn't even change my shirt today. Anyway, yeah, on my website, which the links are down below, is shirts, knives, Amazon links, all that good stuff. Man, I gotta teach myself sales, so I'm sorry about this part, but thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it, and man, you know, reach out to the people you love and just tell them that, you know, and all you guys that came here, this means a lot. I'm sorry I had to rant and rave for all this time, but I had to get it off my chest. I really do, because man, people are looking at the wrong issues to solve a problem. So, anyway, I'm not going to get started in that. Thanks again. Hope you have a great week. And as always, take it easy.